This is Pac-Panic for Game Boy. At least that's what it's called in Japan, but around these parts it's known by another name, Pac-Attack. This originally came out in 1993 on all the popular systems of the time, and don't ask me why I'm playing Pac-Panic instead of Pac-Attack, it doesn't matter, it's the same game anyway. Pac-Panic, or Pac-Attack, is a puzzle game where L-shaped pieces fall from the sky and you have to position these pieces in ways that will form lines to make stuff disappear. When your current piece locks into place, whatever segment is airborne will crash below. Segments will comprise of blocks, which you need to form into lines in order to kill them, but sometimes they'll also comprise ghosts, which will impede your attempts to form lines. That's where Pac-Man comes in. Following as part of a segment, Pac-Man will move along in whatever direction he's facing, and eat whatever ghost may come his way until he's stuck somewhere and disappears. Each time you clear ghosts, your star meter thing will fill up. Once your star meter is full and glowing, a fairy will eventually show up, and wherever it lands, it'll cast a spell that will clear away any ghosts below, which will cause many blocks to fill the holes left by the ghost and maybe clear multiple lines for big points. Like any puzzle game of this ilk, the speed of the pieces increases as you keep playing, and once you top out, the game ends. Pac-Panic comprises two modes of play, the normal mode, which is the standard rules of play, and the puzzle mode where you have to clear all the ghosts from the board using a set number of Pac-Men. Clearing the board means you could move on to the next level, but if you run out of tries or you top out, the game ends. But you could retry the current board, or you could use a password to move on to a later board at a later time. Pac-Panic on a Game Boy sadly is missing the two-player versus mode, thus removing the one popular aspect about this sort of puzzle game. Control is fairly basic. You have a D-pad to move your piece, as well as a rotate button. In puzzle mode, you have an additional button that changes Pac-Man's direction where he faces, which is important to where he goes to eat the ghosts, and it works well enough for what it does. Pac-Panic has its share of challenge, offering 4 levels of difficulty and a system where the game speeds up or down every so often, keeping you on your toes at all times and never really giving you ample opportunity to be complacent. And the puzzle mode's 100 levels will provide some thought-provoking stumpers for those who want to go in that direction. Pac-Panic has a simple layout that is visually adequate given the limited color palette and the screen size. For a port of a console release, you'd only need the quality to be good enough so that you'd recognize all the important bits like the blocks and ghosts and Pac-Man and stuff, and Pac-Panic accomplishes this just fine. Pac-Panic also has Super Game Boy compatibility, which adds a few unique color schemes and not much more than that actually. Not even a special border, which is kind of surprising for a Super Game Boy compatible cartridge, but it's something I suppose. Sound-wise, it's alright I guess. The tunes are respectable recreations of the tunes from the console versions, which were alright for the most part. Sound effects are just there. Not great, not bad. Just there I suppose, so not much else to say there. Overall, Pac-Panic or Pac-Attack, whichever you prefer, is a basic and straightforward puzzle game on a handheld that has more than its fair share of excellent puzzle games. That doesn't diminish its value, however, because it's a rather fun game with a simple but moderately difficult premise, and the puzzle mode has its worth in the 100 puzzles you get to solve. The only downside is the lack of multiplayer, which would have been a fun thing to have, assuming you had a game link and a second copy, but if that doesn't bother you all that much, then Pac-Panic or Pac-Attack on Game Boy is another fine puzzler to add to the collection.